Yes, hello, folks. Welcome to Beyond the Pitch. I'm Phil here, of course, and not with my regular co-host today, Martin, but I am delighted to be joined, of course, with the fantastic Paul Bright from The Coaching Manual. You can find The Coaching Manual at The Coaching Manual on Twitter. Paul, of course, was joining us regularly up until a couple of weeks ago to give a weekly segment on things that affect grassroots football, not just here in the US, but globally. Obviously, we had an intermittent period of when we were off the air for a short period as we were working through the ins and outs of our deal with NBC Sports, which I'm delighted that we got concluded. So we are back on our YouTube channel. We'll continue to service this channel. First of all, let me say to Paul, thanks for joining me, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Phil. Good to be back on and discussing everything soccer.
Yep, absolutely. For those of you who are new to Paul, Paul is UEFA A licensed coach. And of course, he coached at Manchester United's academy for, I think it was 8 years. He was at Everton, England, so highly decorated coach, and he's relatively new to the US in the youth soccer scene. So first of all, mate, there's a lot of topics to get through when it comes to youth soccer. We're going to pick out one or two here, as we do every week. And there's a big philosophical dilemma in US soccer about the difference between winning and development. And can you do both? Do you have to sacrifice one for the other? What's more important? Is it more important to teach someone how important it is to win, or is development more important? If you look at coaches on the sideline, you would assume that at young age, winning is absolutely crucial. There's a cultural end to this here, Paul, because obviously most parents want their kids on successful teams. Tell me, winning v development at youth soccer, can we bring these two together, or is it one or the other?
I think you touched on the main crux of the topic there, which is it needs to be in combination. You know, it's parents, of course, want success, but what is success at soccer at a youth level? Is it successful to win one game or a season or a league and some trophies? Yes, that's short-term success, but I think people in the game and yourself and me, we recognise that long-term success means that you're developing and acquiring the right things to be able to play the game as you advance into from 4v4, 7v7, 9v9, all the way into 11v11 formats of the game. And then you know what to do in all phases of the game. You know what to do in attack. You know what to do in defence. You know what to do in moments of transition. And you know that as you work your way through that 11v11, you spend less and less time on the ball, so it becomes more about off the ball. What's your movement like? Can you read the game? Can you read play? That's development for me. Can it go hand in hand with winning? Yes, of course. We want winners. It's a game, you know. Mm-hmm. They keep score for a reason, because they want to know who's won and who's lost. However, if the issue comes when parents and coaches take the approach of winning at all costs. So what they'll do, they may have a U8s team or a U9s team, and you know, rather than give kids equal playing time, they're going after the win, and they're playing the strongest players for the majority of the game, and the perceived weaker players are not getting on the pitch or getting 5 minutes, 10 minutes here and there. So the question then gets bounced back to those coaches and parents is, does it matter? Is it all that important at U8, U9, U10 to win that badly that you would sit a child out and not get them minutes on the pitch? Because ultimately, it then becomes the stronger become stronger because they get more game time. The weaker become weaker because they get less game time. It's a real moral dilemma, and a lot of coaches as well are trying to stick to it, and you know, equal playing time at the foundation phases and the younger ages. It is about development, but what happens then is they may get a cup final or a state cup final, and all of a sudden their philosophy goes out the window. Oh well, I need to play my strongest teams. That can come from within, or it can come from pressure from parents, and then you're going against your word and your approach. So we've got to develop players the right way. We've got to give them opportunities to improve. There's only one way to really improve, and that's everything you learn in training and in practice and on your own and what you watch. Go out and play and do it in a game. So we've got to give opportunity. However, on the flip side, we also want winners. So it's really about getting that balance right. We want players to experience winning. I also want my players to experience losing. I've had teams where they've got, you know, they've had a few put past them, and it's like, well, remember how that feels. What are we going to do about it? Why did that happen? That's development as well.
So, if you're a parent, what should you be applauding with your kids? Is it technique? Is it effort? When you're sitting down with your kids, what should you be emphasizing to a 7, 8, 9-year-old? And how do you discuss development with them? Do you take a kid in the car on the way to a game and say, look, the most important thing you can do today is give me 100%? Or are you critiquing talent and saying, look, effort's not enough. You have to learn how to do this, do this, do this. What conversation should a parent be having with their child in the car?
That's again a really good debate. I know me and you spoke about it away from off air, and for me, it makes sense to reward and encourage effort. Talent, talent. If you keep rewarding talent, if they come up against someone who is perceived to be more talented than them, then where do they go from there? It's well, they're better than you. If you keep rewarding effort, try your best, get on the ball, try these things out. Did you give your best? If I say it to my teams and to my individual players, if you give me everything, 100% effort, and you're doing your best and you're trying your best and you're recovering and you're getting behind the ball and you're trying to get on the ball even when you're under pressure, and we lose, I've not got a massive problem with that, because what we can say is, well, that's the standard that we just played against. Why did we lose? Because they were better in these areas of the game. Right, then we've got to go away and work on that. However, we've all seen teams, we've probably played in teams where you've been beaten by a team who are perceived to be less talented than you, but they've worked harder than you. Mm-hmm. And if my team are not giving 100% effort and my individuals, then we've got an issue. We've got an issue, So it's, as parents, again, it's rewarding and praising effort. Did you do your best? It's the same if they get a maths test and they get 90% on it. Well, did you do your best? Did you revise? Did you put in the work? Did you go away and do your homework? Well, that's the score you deserve. If you did none of that and you're relying on, he's always been good at maths.
Well, let me ask you this, because one of the things that gets a lot of blame in America is the trophy culture. Every kid gets a trophy. And people link almost everything, every negative thing in a child's life back to the trophy culture. I think, personally, it's over-dramatized. I think that we've devalued trophies so much now that kids don't attach any sense of accomplishment to them anyway. But do we have a problem in this country where we're giving away too many trophies to kids and we're putting them in competition way too young?
So trophies for all. At the very youngest age, you've got to find a way for them to fall in love with the game. That shouldn't be through external rewards. So certificates, lollipops, trophies. The game is fun. Enjoy the game. Love the game. Praise effort again. Did you have fun today? Rather than, you won a trophy today, so let's go back again. Again, it's got to come from within. If you're going to develop world-class players, they've got to have that intrinsic drive, that passion for the game, that passion to want to be better. And again, as you go up the ladders, I've got no problem in players and individuals who are talented receiving rewards and others not doing, because you're rewarding it. Hopefully, we're rewarding effort and talent. But those guys and girls are at the top for a reason. They've either done something well, or they've been coached the right way, or they've had more experience sometimes. But there's nothing wrong in rewarding people who are good at things and who have progressed. It's the same at school. You get given grades. Everyone doesn't get an A grade. It's again finding the balance, and again it comes back to that debate of, what do we praise? Do we praise effort? Because if you've given everything, then what you get in school on your grade is what you deserve, and what you get on the pitch is normally what you deserve as well. So it's a trophy one. I agree with you. I don't think we should be giving trophies out left, right, and centre, because you do devalue them. You want to feel like you've earned a medal or a trophy. And then your second point around competition. Kids know, even at 6, 7, 8 years old, if we got a group of 6-year-olds to play against each other and there was 1 or 2 standout players who parents and coaches selected, I will guarantee that if you ask those 6-year-olds who's the best player on the pitch, they will point to the same player that the parents and coaches would. We don't give players enough credit for their observational skills and know where they are on the pecking order. Kids know where they are on the pecking order. They know what level they should be playing. They know who's talented or who's working hard and who's perceived to be a better player. So we've got to give them more credit than that. So again, competition, kids know when they've won or lost. Again, is it fun? Is it rewarding? I've played in games and I've had my teams playing games what they've lost, but they've come off and they give it everything and they've enjoyed themselves and they've had a right good go. Yeah, they're gutted that they've lost, but they're not walking away absolutely distraught because we give it everything and next time we play them, we're going to beat them. That's the attitude you want. And I think parents and coaches can over-dramatise it as well. You know, we've lost, you know, we've lost this, we've lost a chance for the league. You know, that doesn't define you as a player that you lost the league at U10 or you won the league at U10. That doesn't define you as a player, I don't think. So, again, I think competition is healthy. It's just when adults get involved that they can run over it and make it an environment where kids are scared. Kids are scared to make mistakes and take risks.
The other day I was talking to Alex McLeish and was asking him about what was happening to the dearth of young quality Scottish players. Why aren't we producing them anymore? And he seems to feel that the issue starts at the very foundation of street soccer is gone. It's not coaching, it's not academies, it's not any of that. It's the fact that, you know, you can bring in top class coaching to a developed country like Scotland. You have the facilities and the pitches and everything else. All that's there. But the love of the game and the stuff that you can't coach is missing. So the question then becomes, do academies fix the problems that we have in the US without an underlying, you know, love of the game and without having some aspect of the game self-taught that's not structured?
Yes, street football or pickup. I've heard it referred to as pickup games here in the US. I've not seen any. I've not seen any in the US. And if I'm honest, they will exist in certain areas. And again, in the UK, it's an issue. It's an issue to the point where you've got players who are in top academies in England and Scotland who are going away and getting extra coaching, which is not coaching. It's just one-to-one stuff, or it's even just we'll get a group of players together and go and play against each other. You know, coaches aren't going to say anything. They're just going to let us play. Do I think street football is the answer to everything? No. You've got to have a bit of everything because some players are not going to learn it by themselves. They're going to need that observation. And if I look back to, you know, before the structured soccer and football back home, it was very much street football, but you'd play with older guys and they'd be giving you the advice and the coaching. Or sometimes you'd play on the park and there'd be an older fellow watching you and I've had it where he comes in and stops the game. We don't know this older guy and he's stopped the game and he's gone, think about this when you play, think about that when you play. So you get coached off your peers, you get coached off passers-by sometimes, but again, it comes back to, can I go and express myself? If I try something and give the ball away in the opposition score on the park or on the street, does it matter? No, I'm just going to run my socks off and get that ball back and not give it away again. And again, that freedom to go away and express yourself. But there's another issue linked in with it, and that's practice away from academies and away from organised football. Because in the US, I'm seeing kids get driven in, even at development academy level, 4 times a week, not organised training, but that's team training. What do they go away and do outside of that? Do they go away and kick a ball against a wall? I know it's a cliche, but they don't. You know, that touch, that rebound, that just go away and do it by yourself, or get a mate, go down to the park or to the local playing area and put him in goal and practice putting one in the top corner all the time and playing Wembley singles and doubles with your friends. So it isn't happening. It isn't happening, and it's a key component. It's not the be all and end all, but there is something missing because you try those things with your friends and you try the things that you've been coached as well in those games, and you become a better player for it. So it works both ways.
I completely agree, mate. We'll go ahead and leave it there. Next week, we'll get into a number of other topics. If you've got something that you'd like us to discuss, you're a parent, you've got your kids in football, be it boy or girl, whatever, you've got topics you're not sure about, things that you want to discuss with us, just drop me an email, beyondthepitch@gmail.com. I'll bring them up with Paul. You can catch Paul at Paul Bright on Twitter. and you can catch Paul's company at the Coaching Manual on Twitter, which is a magnificent resource for coaches, for parents trying to understand the game. It doesn't matter where you're at as a coach. It doesn't matter if you're a first-time coach just new to the game or you're a high-end coach. This has brilliant methods for you in how to lay out sessions for kids. That's one of the things that's sorely lacking with coaches, is they don't know how to lay out sessions, and this portal will show you how to do that. Paul, as always, mate, thanks very much for joining me.
No, thanks for having me, Phil.
Cheers, pal.
Yep, speak soon.
See you, mate.